the Sea of Stars. Alonso, a young cartographer, traced his fingers across a parchment, dreaming of filling the blank spaces with truths hidden beyond the horizon. The bustling port of Palos buzzed with excitement as Columbus's expedition prepared to set sail, its mission shrouded in whispers of gold and glory. Alonso clutched his worn satchel, sneaking aboard the Santa Maria as his heart pounded with fear and anticipation in equal measure. The creaking timbers of the ship groaned as the crew cast off, leaving Spain behind and plunging westward into the vast, uncharted Atlantic. Diego, a gruff sailor, muttered doubts about the voyage, calling the promised riches a siren's song luring fools to their doom. Alonso stayed hidden in the shadows of the lower decks, sketching the stars he glimpsed through cracks in the ship's hull. As weeks passed, Alonso's hunger betrayed him, forcing him to reveal himself to the astonished crew during a rough night at sea. Columbus, intrigued by the stowaway's skill with maps, spared him punishment, tasking him with documenting the journey instead. The voyage pressed onward, each sunrise painting the endless sea with colors Alonso could never fully capture on his maps. Diego warned Alonso not to trust Columbus, describing him as a man more interested in conquest than true discovery. One night, Alonso overheard Columbus confiding his belief that their discoveries would make Spain the ruler of the world. The wind grew fierce as storms battered the ships, and Alonso held tight to his tools, determined to preserve their fragile progress. When the seas calmed, Alonso saw lights on the horizon, but Columbus dismissed them as tricks of the eyes. Days later, the crew's shouts confirmed land in the distance, igniting celebrations that Alonso couldn't help but join. They anchored near an island lush with greenery, its shoreline alive with the sounds of unfamiliar birds and insects. Alonso sketched furiously, enchanted by the beauty of this land that seemed like something from a dream. As the crew disembarked, they encountered the island's inhabitants, whose bright garments and friendly gestures startled them. Isabella, a young woman from the island, cautiously approached Alonso, offering a woven basket filled with fruit. Alonso marveled at the artistry of the basket, wondering what stories its maker might tell of this new world. Columbus declared the island for Spain, his booming voice cutting through the serene air like a knife. Diego shook his head, muttering that their claim felt hollow when so much life already thrived here. Alonso began to learn Isabella's language, their tentative exchanges forming a bridge between their vastly different worlds. She guided him through dense jungles, revealing sacred places and explaining the island's intricate history. Alonso's maps grew more detailed as he incorporated knowledge from Isabella, blending observation with her vivid stories. Tensions between the sailors and the islanders rose as Columbus demanded more food and gold than the land could spare. Alonso tried to mediate, but Columbus dismissed him, insisting that their mission required unwavering authority. Isabella warned Alonso that her people were growing wary, and their patience with the newcomers would not last. Diego confided his fears to Alonso, admitting he wished he'd never joined the expedition at all. Alonso wrestled with his conscience, torn between loyalty to his homeland and his growing admiration for this new world. The clash came suddenly, a skirmish breaking out when the sailors tried to seize supplies from the islanders. Alonso was horrified, watching as trust shattered and violence consumed the peaceful shores he had grown to love. He sought out Isabella, desperate to apologize for the actions of his people, though words felt utterly inadequate. Isabella forgave him but insisted that he could no longer stand by if he truly respected her land and her people. Diego, too, decided he could not continue aiding Columbus, vowing to help Alonso protect the islanders. They worked together, using Alonso's maps to guide the sailors away from sacred areas and toward less hostile shores. Columbus grew suspicious, questioning Alonso's loyalty as his focus seemed to shift from Spain's interests to his own ideals. Alonso realized that he could no longer return to Spain, his worldview forever altered by the beauty and complexity he'd witnessed. Isabella showed Alonso ancient carvings that depicted the sea as a bridge between worlds, not a barrier to conquest. Inspired, Alonso resolved to stay behind, dedicating his life to documenting and preserving the truths of this land. Diego helped Alonso fake his death during a storm, ensuring Columbus would believe the cartographer lost to the sea. The Santa Maria eventually set sail, leaving Alonso behind with a sense of liberation he had never known before. Alonso lived among the islanders, learning their traditions and creating maps filled with their stories and knowledge. His work became a testament to the land's beauty, blending art and science to honor its people and their way of life. Alonso discovered that the stars above mirrored those seen from Spain, yet they felt different under this sky. Isabella and Alonso worked together, creating a map that blended their perspectives, uniting their worlds on paper. Over time, Alonso let go of the guilt that had plagued him, embracing the choice to chart a new path. He no longer saw maps as tools of power but as bridges of understanding between distant cultures. News of the island's wealth reached Europe, sparking more voyages that Alonso feared would destroy what he loved. Alonso shared his maps with Isabella's people, teaching them to navigate and protect their islands from invaders. Columbus returned years later, but Alonso stayed hidden, unwilling to confront the man he once admired. Alonso found solace in knowing that his maps preserved truths that could inspire others to see the world differently. His heart ached for the choices yet to come, but he remained steadfast in his commitment to this new life. The islanders embraced Alonso as one of their own, a cartographer who charted not just land but connection. He saw his homeland in his dreams, but it no longer felt like a place he belonged. Alonso grew old on the island, his maps becoming artifacts of a shared history between worlds. Isabella's children carried on their traditions, weaving Alonso's stories into the fabric of their own. The sea remained vast and mysterious, but Alonso had found his place on its shores, content to be part of its story. His final map bore the title The Sea of Stars, a tribute to the journey that transformed his life forever. As the sun set over the island, Alonso felt peace, knowing his work would inspire explorers to seek knowledge, not conquest.